What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex, back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially announced the first unofficial depth chart of the season, and I wanted to analyze some of the players and where they are currently ranked at this time. Now, it is important to note that this is still unofficial and that a lot can change throughout the next couple weeks with the preseason games coming up and ultimately before week 1 of the regular season. But this depth chart could definitely give us some insights into where the team currently sees and projects certain players before the start of the season, and give us kind of an idea of how certain training camp battles are going thus far. Now, the first thing I noticed with this depth chart is the fact that we still do not have a clear indication of who is going to be the Raiders starting quarterback at the moment. They currently have both Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew listed as starters, with that quarterback 2 slot left empty, and then after that quarterback 3 is Anthony Brown Jr. So they still have not tipped their hat on who exactly could be the starter. But head coach Antonio Pierce did state that they will continue to analyze the rest of the training camp sessions this week, and ultimately both Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell will get an equal amount of opportunities come week 1 of the preseason. AP said that they will both get a legit quarter, but I do find it interesting to see who will be the first one out there come Saturday in the first drive, and also just kind of analyze what their supporting cast on offense look like during their time out there. Because if Aiden O'Connell starts the game and he's out there with the ones, and then after you have more of the backup players, that would lead me to believe that O'Connell has a slight edge if that were to happen. But something to keep an eye out on. Now, jumping into the offensive line, currently with the depth chart, they have the current starters listed as left tackle being Colton Miller, left guard Cody Whitehair, center Andre James, right guard Dylan Parham, and right tackle Thayer Mumford Jr. Now, what is interesting to me is that left guard and right guard position with Dylan Parham at right guard. Maybe this is where they want him going into the regular season, and for that left guard spot, will they keep a veteran like Cody Whitehair in there, who is very familiar with the Luke Getsy offense and who just gives you a lot more experience than a rookie like Jackson Powers-Johnson, who was second on the depth chart at left guard at this time? Or is he just currently the starter, Cody Whitehair that is, only due to the fact that Jackson Powers-Johnson is still coming off of an injury? I would like to lean towards the fact that it is due to the injury from Powers-Johnson, but you never know, because Cody Whitehair is also a player who's just super familiar with the Luke Getsy offense and just playing left guard in the NFL in general. Being a veteran in the NFL, he has accumulated over 3,000 snaps playing at the left guard position and was once an all-pro player. So ultimately that left guard position is going to be something to watch out for as we move forward. And ultimately too, I want to see how soon Jackson Powers-Johnson can finally get back on that football field. With him being a young rookie, he needs all the reps he can get. He needs to get back on that football field. And ultimately, I feel like if he cannot recover quickly from his injury, we may end up starting the veteran at left guard come week 1. But another thing I noticed with the depth chart was currently the running back group. And right now they have running back Dylan Labe listed as the 4th running back on the depth chart, currently behind Zamir, Alexander Madison, and Amir Abdullah, which is a little surprising to me just considering all the great things we have been hearing about him thus far in training camp. And I thought he was going to be the running back 3. But at the same time, look, I'm not super worried about this because I think he's going to very likely get a lot of playing time this year in the preseason. And he will get plenty of opportunities to showcase his talents and ultimately climb up the ladder in the depth chart. And also another thing to consider is maybe the Raiders are going to roll forward this season with 4 running backs on the roster. But regardless, I think Dylan Labe will make the roster. I think he's going to have a terrific preseason. You're going to see a lot of explosive plays from him, and he's definitely going to be one of the most exciting players to watch in the preseason. But moving forward onto the defensive side of the football, we currently have John Jenkins and Christian Wilkins as the starting D tackles, Crosby on the edge. And also another thing I noticed is rookie linebacker Tommy Eichenberg has surpassed our second-year linebacker, Amari Burney, on the depth chart currently, which is pretty impressive for the rookie. And he will definitely be another fun player to watch on defense during the preseason. And he's also another player that we've just been hearing a lot of good things about him in training camp. Another interesting move is that currently cornerback Jacorian Bennett is listed as the starting outside cornerback alongside with Jack Jones and with Nate Hobbs at the slot cornerback position. And the backup slot cornerback currently is 7th rounder MJ Devonshire. So the backup slot cornerback position will be important to me because although I love Nate Hobbs as a player, he has still not played a full regular season ever since his rookie season in 22, and last season he missed games due to injury. So there is a chance he may miss some football games for us this year, and whoever that backup is will need to step up and be prepared because we cannot have that be a big weakness that opposing offenses will begin to exploit if Nate Hobbs were to go down with an injury. Another player that I noticed is climbing some ranks is our defensive tackle from 2023, Byron Young out of Alabama, who is currently the backup for John Jenkins, and he very well could be a player that gets a lot more reps and opportunities to showcase his talents this year on the defensive side of the football, so that's very exciting to see. He's climbing up the ladder. Another guy, Nesta J. Savera, he's very low on the depth chart, so there might be a good chance that he's not going to make the roster. A little bit disappointing, but at the same time, he was a 7th rounder, so it's not a big deal in that sense. But Byron Young being a 3rd rounder last year, ideally we want to see him develop and legitimately contribute on this defensive line, so there's going to be another player to keep your eye out on in the preseason. Ultimately, there will be a lot riding on certain players' performances this year in the preseason. The Raiders still have some uncertainties on their roster, and those need to get answered before we head into the regular season. Ultimately, the biggest thing that people will be analyzing will be that quarterback play between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Both of them legitimately have a chance to win their job. And for Gardner Minshew, for example, to win the starting job, I think if he can go out there, if he can not turn the ball over, and if he can show like some mobility with his legs, he will have a good chance to win that job. And on the contrary, Aiden O'Connell, if he can limit turnovers as well and just make some big plays with his arm, also be a little bit more vocal, show that leadership that Antonio Pierce has been really wanting from that position, that would be his recipe for success in winning that quarterback battle. But everything seems to indicate that it's still anyone's job. Both still have a legit opportunity to win the starter role, but it's just going to come down to these last training camp sessions and what we see out there on the football field in the preseason. But training camp will be wrapping up later this week in Costa Mesa. Then the team will travel to Minnesota for the first preseason matchup of the 2024 season, and we will finally see the silver and black out there on the football field. So I'm super excited about that. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the first depth chart we have seen. Are there any surprises you saw? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.